Alright guys, here's the new Crescent Smallie. I'll try to do a review. I've been out on the water quite a few times. I've been on flat water, I've been in the rapids. I just recently did a float trip on a creek that was about 8 miles. So I'm going to try to give you a review here of my perception of the Crescent Smallie. So as you can see, one of my favorite, it's got a cup holder right here. Let me get the camera and I'll do a walkthrough here. Alright, we're going to start in the back. Crescent Smallie. I'll go over the features here. So I like this. This is a hatch. So you got a lot of internal storage there where you can actually mount accessories like a motor, anchor wizard. A person myself, I don't feel the need to mount a motor on here because for me this is more what it's advertised for, is like a throw and go kayak, being 65 pounds. You know, it's plumbed for the steering for the motor. See these little eyelets here? You can run your cable from your motor up to the front and behind the pedals here. They come out and you can pop out the red guides here, and it frees up the steering so you can adjust the steering on the motor if you guys want to put a motor. But for me, I'm not going to put a motor. Alright, back to the tank well. You got some padding back here. Of course, you got Made in America. And you got these metal tracks, which are nice. And you got like these pad eyes here. You know, if you guys want to do some kind of anchor system or tie downs, bungees. You got these straps here that come with it, and you can tie stuff down. As you can tell, I mounted an anchor wizard here on the back. I run a 6-pound anchor, and on the trip had some current. It seemed to help hold me pretty good. So, and then they did away with the handles on the back, and they have this molded in handle, which is nice. And then you got, I guess, the seat. So you got the high and low position. So it's kind of the big controversy on this for, I guess, bigger guys. I'm 6 foot 250, so you got your high and low position here. If you wanna rock it in the high position. For me, I haven't tried it in a high position yet, but I'm pretty comfortable in a low position. Of course, I'm paddling too, so lower to the water makes for better paddling. And the little details like these, I really like these coming from the light tackle. Light tackle is kind of basic, doesn't have a lot of features, but I like these. You can tie your rods, nets, all kinds of stuff down. And definitely the cup holder, definitely like that. It's got 2 of them coming from the OG light tackle. I didn't have that feature, so it's got a lot of features that the OG light tackle doesn't have. So, but you can fit a lot of storage under here, a lot of space, especially if you got a lot of space. See, I can fit this tumbler underneath of it. That's how much space you got. So then coming to the center, the cup holders, and then if you guys want to mount some kind of bracket, I believe you can get a stud. It's I think the thread pitch is a 1/4-20. So if you can get a 1/4-20 stud, I think your Yak Attack accessories will mount to that. And then of course you got your catch board in the center, a place for a catch board. And you can remove it. It's got these little tie downs that hold it in place. And if you want to, you know, it's made to fit in here. I think if you're in the high position, you got a lot more room to use this, but if you're in a low position with your legs, for me, it's not too feasible. But if you're in the high position, you know, you can probably utilize that. So another good thing here is too, I had this thing loaded down. You know, there was no water that came up in the cockpit of the kayak here, so it definitely holds the weight well at 10'6". And of course you got your tracks here as well, metal tracks. They got the nice crescent emblem laser engraved into it. And then the little features like this, you got where your cam strap comes out. You can you can do this for a stand assist if you want. It gives you a nice stand assist option. And then what else I like too is the little features like these little hatch latches. Like on the Crescent light tackle, we just got some bungees. I do like the bungees on there because you can put your net, but you know, each kayak has its own features. So like on the light tackle, the hatch on it, I put a carpet on there for my dog. He rides up front. But with this kayak, it's pretty nimble, so he's 65 pounds, so I don't think he would be a good fit on this kayak. But I still have my light tackle OG. So, you know, you have these hatches that open up. Got a lot of room in here. And a lot of people's not talking about this. This is the Dolomium. So I guess that's the scientific name for Smallie, which is nice. And of course you got the little tray. Got nice recessed here to help keep the water out. Nice seal. And of course you got your handle. This is kind of like they have on the Smallie, which, you know, I used this yesterday. So you're able to pull this out like a drag strap. And definitely with the kayak loaded down, I pulled this kayak over the bank quite well. So I think that's all the features that are on the upper side. So let me get this seat off here, and I'll try to roll it around here and show you from underneath. Alright guys, here we are starting with the keel. So this kayak has not so much a pronounced keel, so it's more flatter on the bottom than my Crescent light tackle, which that's one of the reasons why I got it, for skinny water. So it still has a keel. So when you get on open water, the tracking isn't as good as the light tackle, but you know, it's definitely not, you know, not the same boat. So, you know, you get here in the center, it's more flatter. And then the rock, it's got a lot of, you know, you hear on all the reviews, it's got a lot of rock. But you know, that's just the agility of the boat. You know, it's kind of a river kayak. So you know, just like In the old days, you know, these kind of kayaks didn't exist. You know, if you wanted to fish in a kayak, you had whitewater kayaks. Well, this is kind of getting back to the roots of kayaking. So it's got a lot of play. You know, it still has good secondary stability. But, you know, it's getting back to the roots, like Drew said in his opening for Crescent on the review. It's getting back to the roots of the paddler. So this is a good paddling kayak for creeks and rivers. Alright guys, right here, up here in the waterfalls. I think I'm going to paddle up in the rapids and try the Smallie out. See if I can make it up. See if I don't flip over. We'll see what happens. So stay with us. Overall, my second time out on it, and you know, it's a little rocky at first, but I think I'm getting used to it. So all right guys, made it up to Swift. And tracking, it's kind of, you know, on open water it tracks okay, but you know, I'm comparing it to the light tackle, which the light tackle is a great tracking boat. But when you get on smaller water and creeks, and you know, you get out of that wind, you know, you'll do fine. And if you guys want to put a transducer, it's got it molded into the bottom of the kayak, the transducer hole. You know, you can get the scupper bracket to fit that. And then it has all of these, I guess they're like triangle shape deck supports all down through the kayak. And then getting to the nose of the kayak, as you say, Crescent, the bulbous nose. So, you know, I've had this yesterday in some rapids where, you know, I don't know what the category was, but, you know, it had some chop to it. So I was kind of, the kayak went down and I kind of just went up to about here in the rapids. So it popped right back up. So it didn't nosedive in the rapids. So it does pretty good. And let's see. And two, this is, I forgot to mention the color of this. This is timber. This is Crescent's new color. They came out with this in the Smallie. I don't know if they're going to make other kayaks in this color, but I kind of like it. Now, some of the other ones have like gray, you know, the gray blended into it. I'm not too much on that, but this one here, this one's pretty nice. It's not, that gray's not pronounced in that, so I like this color. I was stuck on the camo, but I ended up going with the new color. So overall, it's got the deck padding. I think I forgot to mention that. When you are in the low position, for me, I can just prop my legs right off here to the side and stretch them out, and that's pretty comfortable for me, you know. So that way you're not in the, you know, if you don't like the high position, you can stretch your legs out over the side here. That's pretty comfortable. Go. There you go, guys, another little Smallie. You know, but I have yet to try it in the high position, you know, maybe I'll get out and play around with it and see how it works. But you know, for me, I'm a little heavier, so lower center of gravity is good. You know, lighter guys, maybe a little shorter, lower center of gravity, you could probably utilize the high position. But for me, this isn't bad in the low position. So I think that's going to be a key factor in, you know, people's purchases. But for the most part, I got this for like a throw and go creek boat. So definitely, I think that Crescent knocked it out of the park with this. I really like it. So I got some video clips that I'll probably try to throw into this video for the review. So, alright guys, if you're in the market for lightweight throw and go, this weighs in at 65 pounds for a little creek boat, or you know, it's good on the bigger rivers and stuff. I had it out. But mainly if you're looking for a throw and go, if you want to rooftop it, or overall just looking for a lighter kayak, you know, on the market, this is definitely the way to go for me anyway. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely like it. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the water.